Hey, Miranda. Oh, you're muted.
Okay, hang on. I'm getting ready to let people in.
Okay, I forgot to go to the bathroom first. I'm gonna step away for a minute.
All right.
Did you see that? Oh, there they are. Yay.
Yep.
Cool.
Hey, I'm gonna make you guys all hosts so that you can let people in also.
Seems like Nancy Nass can't get in though.
Oh, okay. Have her try again, maybe.
Okay.
Did she sign up? Does anybody know?
I don't know. I'll work with her.
Okay. Oh, whoops.
I'll be right back.
Okay. How is everybody?
Hey, that doesn't look like Kate. Hi, Monica.
I was just about to ask that. Hi.
Hi.
I am not Kate. I am Monica.
Oh,
I'm happy
that's
to
so
change
funny.
it, but I didn't know if it would.
Yeah. What's
up.
going on with that? It looks like everybody is Kate. Huh.
Maybe that's because you're making us hosts. I'm not sure.
Oh. Huh.
Oh, yeah, it says I'm Corey.
I know. What's going on? Oh, I'm admitting Kate again.
Mine says Teresa.
Yep. Mine says Parents for Public Schools. I guess I can change it to my name, but I'm not quite sure. Is it something about the link that we sent out, you think? That?
Yeah,
I'll
I
change
sent
it.
Nancy's my link. I sent Nancy and Pollock my link, so maybe everyone has a unique.
Huh. So, Kate, what did you send out in the email? Oops, is Kate here?
Yeah, I am, and that's a really good point. I
just renamed you, Nancy.
Oh, perfect. How'd you do that? That's so cool.
I sent
Everyone is Kate.
What?
I pressed the 3 dots by your face,
Oh no,
Nancy,
you mean the
and
link
said
that
rename.
they use is my link. Oh no. Oh no, that's not good. That isn't good.
So where did you get the link that you sent out to them?
My meeting calendar. Oh no, that's your right.
So they can just press the 3 dots by their own face and press rename, because it looks like, but we have to give participants the ability to rename themselves. I think hosts always have the ability to rename. So if you give everybody the ability to rename themselves, they can go ahead and do that if they need to.
I know. I'm just wondering, is there a way that we could send, because we've got a lot of people signed up for this, is there a way that we could send another?
I mean, like not everybody's just going to click that link, but we've requested that they do. So,
okay.
I'm so sorry. I just should have used the one from the meeting, but.
Okay.
There you go.
So I'm trying to figure out which is the real Kate. Oh, yep, and there's Greg Kate. Oh my gosh.
Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh gosh, this is not good. Not helpful at all. Okay, so we need to.
Daisy's coming as her own name. It must have just been that most recent one that you sent out, huh?
Maybe. You're on mute, Greg. Okay.
I was going to say it probably was, guys, because I just clicked on the most recent one. I didn't click on the original one in my Google Calendar.
Okay. I'm wondering if, Kate, you could send a quick email just letting people know.
Okay, so what is the meeting ID that they need to use? It's the one that they've received in their approval?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll do that now.
Miranda, if you want, I can take myself out and click in on the original one to see if that worked.
Okay.
You want me to do that?
Sure.
Greg, can you rename yourself? I think you can just rename yourself.
Oh, but we're going to see if the link works.
Yeah, I'm going to click out, guys.
The thing is as well, we need
Greg.
original emails to be able to do room allocation as well.
I think I'm just tuning into, I think I'm under someone else's Zoom account. So I'm also going to log out and try coming in again.
Yeah, so try logging in using whatever you originally got. I think it was just that most recent message that went out.
Okay.
Our office manager stuck her own code in, and so.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miranda, will you make me a co-host as well?
Yes, I'm just trying to see.
Thank
You
you.
are in here. Hang on a second. There you go. Okay.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else who I have not made a co-host yet that needs to be one? I've got all of our facilitators, Teresa, Christina, myself, and I don't know which of these Kates is the real Kate, but okay. So for right now, I guess if there's anybody who's joining.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what to send to people. What to send out to people.
Yeah.
In my calendar,
Yeah.
it's my invite, right? So I should be telling people to click the. What should I be? I'm sorry, I'm lost.
I know. I'm trying to. I am not probably the most knowledgeable about that.
No, I'm so sorry about this. It should say they should be following the approved.
Click the confirmation information in their email.
Okay, so when they got a confirmation from Zoom originally. Okay, I'll send that out. Sorry about that.
So guys, did it work when I came back in? Did I come in?
Yes,
as my
Greg.
Yay, you're Greg. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's all. So if people click on the original Google invite, then they will be fine. And that's all. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
Mute
assume
myself.
some people won't. Is that going to be a problem? What's the problem if we just have a bunch of Kates?
Sound like that's. Oh, I'm sorry.
Miranda?
Well, I think the only problem is I need to make the real Kate a co-host.
Okay.
And so I need to figure out which one is the real Kate Moore.
She should. Let me rename her as the real Kate Moore.
But I don't know which one. There's 4 of them right now.
She turned her camera off, so I know who she is.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. All right. Great.
I mean, it could catch on. She could be the real Kate Moore. No.
Well, so I guess even though we're figuring this funny thing out, you guys can all see each other. Hopefully, we can do quick introductions. We have Monica from America's Promise. Christina is our tech support. She's part of our staff. Nancy is doing the high school breakout room. Kate's going to be helping with tech support also. We have Liz from America's Promise. And it looks like we have a couple of folks. Welcome to the meeting. You might see that your name is listed as Kate Moore. That's our office manager's name. And the most recent reminder email she sent out, she ended up sticking in her own confirmation code. So that means that anyone who clicks that comes up with her name. So if you want to try and do something fancy, it might work if you hover over your name and rename yourself. Where it says, if you have a little box that says more, when you hover over your name.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Miranda. I actually want people to not do that because they need to come in with their own email ID. So they need to click the link that's in their original confirmation email. Otherwise, their ID when they join will still be my email. And I'm so sorry for the confusion. I do apologize.
Okay.
Well, I wonder if can we just text and try to sort this out, because it looks like our waiting room is open and people are just joining us. And so we're not going to be able to have everybody rechange their name. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but
okay.
Also, guys, if we've already identified Kate as the real Kate Moore, wouldn't that resolve the issue?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure what the issue is, but if those of you who are in the meeting right now are able to jump off and re-log in with the original confirmation that you got, it'll make it so that your name shows up. That's a message that maybe we could post. Christina, would you mind typing that into the chat so that people are able to see that and they're able to fix this if they need to?
I'm sorry. So should I unmute all people who is waiting at the waiting room now, or should
why don't we send a message to them? Do you see that you can message them? And there's a little.
Because you've already accepted me into the meeting, that's why they're able to access, because they're using my.
So
I'm so sorry.
should I tell them to?
Just send a message and say, could you please log off and log in with the original email confirmation that you got?
Okay.
I just sent an email out to everybody as well, which everybody should have received if they registered.
Okay. For right now, though, I guess I'm looking at this text, and I guess we're just, maybe there's no reason not to just admit people. We'll wait. I'm going to give it like 2 minutes for Christina to send that email, and then we'll just get started and let people let us have a whole room full of Kate Moores. That's okay.
Oh goodness, it's the last thing you want, really.
Well, remember, it's part of our agreements is that things will go wrong. So we'll just roll with it.
Thank you. That's very generous of you.
Okay, so I'm going to start.
I just sent a message out and hopefully they can log off and log back in.
Cool. I'm just going to give it like 2 minutes and then we'll just start letting people in regardless of whether they're Kate Moore or somebody else. So folks who are in the room, welcome to our Building Resiliency webinar. We're just dealing with a couple technical issues, but we're really excited to get started pretty soon with our content. I don't know, Teresa, do you want to start sharing your screen? Great. All right. And Christina, you're letting some folks in now from the waiting room?
Yes. But I don't know if I should like keep sending the message. I don't know if they can see the message if they come in, log in like after I send it.
Yeah, I think what you can do is just send a message explaining what's going on into the chat and people can decide if they want to log back in. I think it's okay. All right. And so as people are joining, you might have gotten an email, and I'm going to repeat this a couple of times, but in the email that we just sent out, there is a document. And so for this meeting, we're going to be following along in a Google document, which is going to allow folks an opportunity to participate by typing in responses to things and sharing ideas with one another. And so we're going to have, just to kind of orient you, there's a button at the bottom, pardon, that says chat. And so we're going to have the information about how to enter, or how to get the Google document is going to be entered into the chat. So you can either copy and paste that into your browser, or you can look at the email that you most recently got just a few minutes before this meeting started, and you can find a link to our to this Google Doc, which is what we're going to be using to walk through this meeting. So Teresa, if you want to go to the next slide that shows a little bit of information about getting set up. Okay, so this is just a little introductory page that shows you what the document looks like that we're asking people to log into, and it also shows you the URL if you want to go to that short URL. The bit.ly at the bottom says PPSSF AGM SEL, and that's going to take you to this Google document. And once you're in it, we recommend if you click on the upper left corner of your page, which is like right next to the page in the Google document, in that kind of blank space next to the page, in the upper left corner, you're going to see a little square box that has some lines in it. And when you click on that, it will take you to the outline view of the document. And that will let you follow along more easily through the different sections and follow along with us as we present information and as we have discussions during this webinar. So again, welcome to everybody who has joined. We were just sorting out some technical problems at the beginning where the link that we sent out just before this meeting was actually attached to one of our staff members. And so a lot of people who are joining are are coming in with her name. So you can, if you want to have your real name show up and just kind of make it easier for us to know who you are, feel free to log out and use the link that you got in your email confirmation and come back in. We'll hold off for a couple of minutes before we start on the content to kind of let people do that. The other option is if you hover over your name, you may be able to rename yourself, and you can just type in the name that you want us to be using. And so a couple of other, again, I would like to direct people to look into our chat, and you'll see that we have a link posted there to the document that we're going to be using, which is a Google document, and that's going to make it a lot easier for you to participate. We also are going to post a link to a PDF if you're not able to get into a Google document, but that will be kind of view only. You won't be able to engage with the conversation through the PDF document. So if you're able to access a Google Doc, we definitely recommend that you click on that link that came in your email, or that you copy and paste from the chat the URL, which is also on the slide that's being shared right now. So I'm just going to wait a few more minutes. Another thing to mention is that you might want to, if you have the ability to split your screen and have two windows, you might want to have your Google Doc on one side and have your Zoom on the other side, so that you're able to see both the Google Doc and the Zoom meeting at the same time. And we recommend putting it in gallery view. We're hoping that people will put their videos on if they're able to, so that we can feel a little bit more like we're talking to each other and we're in community with one another. Totally up to you, but please do feel free to leave your video on. And we're gonna have our microphones muted while we're in the big session, because we have a lot of participants, but we will be having an opportunity to speak with one another once we go into breakout groups. So, just gonna wait a few more minutes. I'm trying to see if we still have some folks in the waiting room. It looks like, even though we have a lot of Kate Moores, we have a lot of folks who have been able to log in with their own IDs as well. So again, welcome everybody. If you have been able to get into the document, the next step after you get your screen set up, you figure out where the chat is, you rename yourself if you want to. Again, you can rename yourself if you got logged in as Kate Moore by hovering over your name and typing in your own name, or whatever name you want us to call you in this meeting. So you can do that. We also, on the Google document, once you get in, please go into the second page, and you can also look on that outline. If you were able to click the outline view, you can follow along and go to the place that says group introductions and poll. And so while we're starting out, if you could just enter your information into that, it gives us a chance to get to know a little bit about who's in the room and why you're here. And we also are asking you to answer the question, what comes to mind when you hear the words social and emotional learning? So if you could enter that into the document, that would be great.
I have a question.
Yep.
I'm still trying to figure out how to put my name in place so you guys will know who I am.
Yeah, and so this is, I'm hoping that it works, but I don't know for sure if you're able to do this, but sometimes you're able to hover over your name. If you click at the very bottom of your screen, there's a tab that says participants.
Right.
And if you click on that, it should pop up to the side, kind of a list of everyone. You'll see a lot of Kate Moores, and hopefully your name will be at the very top. Your Kate Moore should be at the top. And
right.
If you hover over that, there should be, I don't know if you're on a phone or if you're on a computer, but on a computer, there's a tab that says more. And when you click that, it gives you the opportunity to rename yourself.
Or you could just find your picture and then find the three dots to the right, upper right corner, and click on that.
You see what I'm doing? I'm using my phone for the actual conversation and for viewing, and I'm using my laptop for the actual Google Doc.
Oh, okay.
So if anybody know how to do it on a phone, on an iPhone?
On a phone. I don't. I could try to Google it, but
I think the main thing you need. I think the main thing you need to do. Sorry, I'm the real Kate Moore. Is to make sure that you've registered. So you go in on the registration email and not using the one that I just recently sent, and that's entirely my mistake, and I do apologise. But when you got a confirmation of your registration, you'd have got a unique entrance into this meeting, which would come up with your name when you come back in. So that's the way to get rid of my name and make sure that we know who you are and actually which breakout room you should be going to later on as well. That's really the most important part of that.
Okay, so it was an email sent earlier on, right?
Yeah, you got a confirmation. Yeah, that's right. When you got one earlier, when you had a confirmation.
I'm gonna sign out, and then I'm gonna leave the meeting, and then I'm gonna
that's
re-enter.
Right. Perfect.
Okay, so give me a second. But by the way, I'm Michael White, you guys.
All right. Hi, Michael. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Nice to meet you guys. I'll be back.
All right, and I'm excited to see that people are entering their information into the document. I think we have enough lines, but feel free to add another line to the table if we run out. So in case you don't know where we are, we're in the Google document. There's a link that's been provided in the chat, and there was also a link that you were sent in the email right before this meeting, if you're not able to access it through the chat. And we're in that document right now. We're entering our information into page 2 and 3, where it's asking why you're here, your pronouns, your name. And we'll just give a few more minutes for people to do that. And then I'm also gonna launch a quick poll right now, just so that we can see who's in the room right now, other than Kate Moore. All right, so hopefully you guys can see the poll, and I'll give you a few minutes to answer that, and then we'll show you the results. And feel free to check more than one box, because I know many people have a lot of different hats that they wear.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I went and put in my name, but somehow it's not showing up for some reason.
Yeah, we've had a technical difficulty. Are you the person who messaged and said that you're on your phone?
I'm on my iPad and I'm trying to put my name on here.
Okay.
So after I put my name, what do I press to get in, to put my name on the list? I push enter, but it's still not showing up.
I think that, unfortunately, I don't know how to do it on an iPad, but the most helpful thing
Just
is—
tell me your name now, I can rename you.
Oh.
Olofa St. Pierre.
Can you spell it?
OLOFA STPIERRE.
Thanks, Corey.
Sorry, can you spell that again? Sorry.
Which one, the first or the last name?
First.
OLOFA.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Number one, I tried to raise my hand several times, but seems nobody pay attention on the hands. Secondly, I could not changing the name, so I can tell you the name. My name's Ken, K-E-N. Hopefully, someone can help me to learn.
Corey, are you able to do that?
I could not I'm using a phone.
Okay.
And that's another thing. Looks like a lot of activity or something, kind of like, okay, I'm on the phone. I cannot see the screen that well. Hopefully, exercise.
All right. Doing my best to spell, so I don't know.
Okay. We're going to do our best. I think we may just have to not be able to rename everybody. If you're not able to do it, the one thing you could do is log off and use the confirmation email that you got directly from Zoom to log in, and that will log you in under your real name. I do think that we're going to have to move forward, and hopefully everyone had a chance to who's able to access the document. And I do understand that you might not be able to access this document if you're on your phone. We still will have, I think, plenty of information and chance for you to join a discussion in the breakout group. So there will be ways to be engaged. This is just one additional way, using this document to share information. I'm going to end our poll right now so that people can see who's in the room. It looks like we have a lot of parents, some educators, and plenty of folks affiliated with community-based organizations. So I just want to thank everybody for joining us. We're really excited about our first attempt to take our annual general meeting online, and especially about the topic today, social and emotional learning, which is so important right now. But I'm going to pass it over right now to Kwari Pak from SFUSD, or actually, I'm sorry, to Teresa. We're starting with Teresa, who is our Executive Director at Parents for Public Schools.
Hi, everybody. So you are looking at my screen right now, and I want to thank you all for being patient with our technical challenges. We are learning new things, as I'm sure you all are as well during this time. So a couple things: if you haven't had your name changed or you can't get into the doc, don't worry about it. There's lots of low-tech ways for us to move forward. You'll be able to hear our words, and we'll be and later, if we break out into breakout rooms and you're not there, then we'll help you at that point. I would like to ask, if you have not muted yourself, please do that at this time. We are spending the first portion of this webinar with us sharing out with you, and you'll be able to share later on. So thank you so much. So just a couple words about who we are, just so you know how you got here. Parents for Public Schools is a small nonprofit here in San Francisco, and our goal and our mission is to help everybody learn more about public schools and help parents and families navigate those public schools on behalf of their children, as well as we work to bring parent voice to decision makers within SFUSD. So this today is part of a series of webinars that we're doing around our annual general meeting. And here we go. Okay, so how do we do what we do? Just so you know, we have 3 areas of work. We help people enroll in SFUSD. We help families once they're already in SFUSD. And we also bring information from parents and families to decision makers at SFUSD to try to influence policy. So we're grateful that you're here with us today, and we're hopeful that we can get some information from you that we can share with the district, as well as give you some information that will help you while you're at home. Sorry, there we go. So we are a membership organization, and just so you know, you're in good company. By joining us today, you are now part of our membership, which already includes over 12,000 parents and caregivers and educators in San Francisco who connect with us via our newsletter, over 5,000 people who connect with us on social media in Chinese, Spanish, and English, and as well as over 3,500 families that we serve in person every year. So we're glad that you're here. This point of being a member is going to make a lot more sense when we get to the end of the webinar. Thank you all. I now am going to pass it off to Kwari, who's going to give us a moment to settle ourselves after that little bit of a chaotic but wonderful opening as we talk more about social emotional learning for the young people that we work with. Kwari, it's your turn.
Thank you, Teresa. It's a joy to work with you again. I haven't seen you since the Community Partners Forum and more of our planning meetings. So I feel like I'm getting to know Parents for Public Schools even better than from Twitter and your Board Watch updates, which I find very useful. Hi, my name is Kwari Pak, and I am Program Administrator from SFUSD School Health Programs. So I'm glad to be here today with you. Our office is out of the Student Community and Family Support Division with Melly Lau Smith and Kim Coates. And our office coordinates school nursing, social work, and health education programs, which also includes working with community and families and district offices on promoting social emotional learning. So I'm going to keep this a little shorter than originally planned. This is a little bit of a mindfulness meditation that is called grounding. And we've done a little bit of grounding already by fiddling with our iPads and our phones and our computers. So the point of this mindfulness practice is to recognize while we're sheltering in place, we are physically isolated, but when we join together in meetings like this, we are socially together and we're practicing together. And I'm going to ask you to choose if you'd like to accept the invitation to practice mindfulness for a couple minutes, or just to remain on your own and until the next part of the meeting while we ground ourselves in our 5 senses. So I'm not going to ask you to close your eyes. This is a trauma-informed practice, and it's just a way to feel grounded and comfortable, making sure your 2 feet are on the ground if you're standing or sitting, and taking a moment to take a breath, inhale and exhale in a relaxed manner, not trying to control how it's going in or out. And this practice of grounding helps us to be present and experience what we're doing, seeing, and hearing in the moment. And hopefully diverting our attention from any stress or unpleasant thoughts and creating a sense of calm as we're here together. So I'm going to list some things that you can find. And you can either use your senses to identify them or list them silently in your head or in your mind. So I'm going to ask you to list 5 things you can see from where you are right now. I'm going to try to model. I can see my kitchen, the pots, refrigerator magnets, some paper towels, and my glass of water, and my computer, of course. I can see some of your faces, which is great. And then I'm going to move on and ask you to name or touch 4 things you can feel that are around you. I'm also going to then move on and move you forward to 3 things you can hear. I can hear my housemate having a meeting with Cesar Chavez teachers in the other room. I can hear some wind in the trees in my backyard, which I didn't notice until I just asked myself what I could hear. I can hear myself talking, obviously. Name 2 things you can smell or smell them, and 1 thing you can taste. I'm going to end with another breath. Slowly, I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Inhaling. Hold it, and then exhale. 3, 2, 1. Now that we've brought our attention to our 5 senses, we can take this foundation forward to the rest of our meeting. I really appreciate that transparent facilitation. It kind of models what we're all going through right now, trying to figure out things as we go along. So I'm going to pass it back to Teresa and Miranda.
Thanks, Corey. I think Miranda is actually going to walk us through the agenda. So I'm going to stop screen sharing now.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Miranda. I didn't actually introduce myself before. I'm the policy director at Parents for Public Schools. And right now, we're just going to do a quick walkthrough of our agenda. So if you're in the Google document, you can either, if you're in the outline, you can click on where it says agenda and it should bring you there, or you can go to page 7. And we've actually already done a lot of this. So where we are right now is in the place where it says agenda. We just finished our mindful moment. We're going to talk about a couple of agreements, our goals for today, and then we're going to jump into the real meat of this, where we have some excellent experts to share some information about what we mean by social emotional learning and talk about how SFUSD looks at social emotional learning and the types of things they're doing to support this for our students. And then we're going to go into breakout rooms by age level, and we're going to have a chance to talk about some actual strategies that could be useful right now. And then we're going to close out and hope you guys will stick around to take a survey where we'll actually be able to collect some information that will help inform our own policies and that we can share with the school district as well. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Kate to talk about our agreements for today.
Hi, yes, and the real Kate Moore, which is an exciting name to have. But yeah, we've gone through most of these, to be honest, and we've everyone's been very gracious and kind, and this is one of the things we want to definitely exemplify today, is being full of humour and patience. And with the technology, we've had some issues with this afternoon. That's very kind of you to do that. I think we also said earlier on that we, to build community, we want to remain on camera if you can, and also to be available on mic. Although we want no one's speaking unless we get into the breakout rooms, and then you're being asked to speak there. We'd like everybody to be muted until then. Also, if you can avoid distractions, if you can, consider turning off other devices. If you've got alerts pinging on your phone or on your laptop, that's quite hard to make it easy to concentrate. So try and mute those, and be mindful of your airtime when you do speak. So we will call on people to speak within the breakout rooms, and we just want to make sure that although we want your voice to be heard, we also want to create breathing room for others. So please be mindful of that. So the last couple of things, this is a great idea, is just grab a fidget toy or a sensory item to keep your hands occupied. We've got a tendency to always be clicking, and it's a good thing to have something else to play with other than your mouse. So please do that, and as I said, enjoy and be patient and full of grace today. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I was muted. Okay, and then the very last thing, if you just go to the next page, talking about our goals for today. So I know that, like, all of us are doing the best that we can in the current context, and a lot of us are wearing multiple hats right now, as parents or relatives, educators, workers, and we all are experiencing stress in different ways. And anxiety and worrying about the toll that this situation is taking on our kids mentally, physically, and academically. And so before COVID-19, we had been planning an annual general meeting around the idea of social emotional learning with the support of America's Promise Alliance. And we're excited to really dig in and talk about how we can support these priorities as families, and how we can partner with schools to support our students as they build social emotional competencies. But now in the change context, one of the messages that we heard last week when we hosted, or a couple weeks ago when we hosted a talk with the educator Zaretta Hammond, seems really resonant right now, which is that students are learning all the time. It doesn't have to look like school for students to be learning. And we're teaching our students all the time, whether we know it or not. And so for the same reasons that this time is challenging, it's also an opportunity for students and for families to build skills that will really serve them when school resumes, and also for the rest of their lives. And so that's really the purposes of this convening. You can just kind of see on that list of goals are to build a common understanding about what we mean when we talk about social emotional learning, to talk about what the competencies are, kind of specifically what we talk about, and then also to really get into age and stage specific challenges and what some things are that we can do as parents to support our children at all different ages. And then finally, we'd like to get some feedback from you that we can, as I talked about before, that can inform the work that we're doing, and also can help us as we work with SFUSD to give them really good information about what families are experiencing right now. And so with that, I'm really excited to introduce Monica Kinchelow from America's Promise Alliance. We are really grateful for their support of our annual general meeting series and for their national leadership on the importance of social emotional learning for our students. So I will pass it over to Monica.
Thanks, Miranda. I really appreciate it. And I want to start by saying good afternoon, and you are joined by a few East Coasters, so I'm going to say good evening to that group. My name is Monica Kinchelow. I'm really thrilled to be joining you from a Washington, D.C. based nonprofit called America's Promise Alliance. And we are the driving force behind a nationwide movement to improve the lives and futures of young people by bringing together hundreds of nonprofits, businesses, community and civic leaders, like the ones leading today's session, educators, citizens, and young people alike. I want to take a moment and personally thank all of you for joining today. I think we are living in really strange times, and working and caring for our young people and just trying to get through this time is difficult enough. And the fact that you've taken some time out to join this group is commendable. So thanks for being here. I am going to share my screen. I do have some slides. Is that still a good idea? Can I just get a signal? Sorry. Or I know they're in the document. Is there a preference on sharing?
Share away. Yeah, you should share.
Okay. All right. We'll just share. All right. So these slides are in the Google Doc. So if you're there, it's the same content, and I'll just be the voiceover over here. We are really excited at America's Promise to be partnering with 5 communities across the country, including Parents for Public Schools in San Francisco, to really explore the knowledge of how learning happens with a wide range of adults who are supporting young people. And this includes parents and families. And in our other sites, it includes educators and after school and summer school leaders. So today's convening is actually part of a national movement to transfer the lessons of how learning happens to the reality of young people's lives. And unbeknownst to us, we're in a really interesting time where young people's learning settings is their home or with their parents and families. So the purpose of these convenings for us is to share knowledge about how learning happens and to inspire action and connection across community, and in time, identify areas for action. A few years ago, a commission came together at the national level composed of experts in the research and policy and practice of social, emotional, and academic development. And they did a remarkable thing. They achieved consensus on bringing together all of the research on how learning happens. And they released a series of reports here, which are broadly written for a general audience and really provide a roadmap for how to create learning environments that take a whole child's approach to learning. And this is a really interesting and important graphic that came out of that commission consensus. And it really shows the level of the remarkable progress we've made in research to understand how each of us learn and grow over time. And this body of research really encourages us now to accept that relationships are a core part of learning. They're not a nice to have, they are a must have for learning to happen. And so the evidence leads us away from this belief that academic learning is it, and that social and emotional development are separate. This is a body of work that really encourages us to adopt a view that social, emotional, cognitive, and academic development are interconnected. And so I'm going to take this slide and the next slide to just spend a few minutes on the little brains that are in your homes right now, and that we all are working with over the course of a normal school year and otherwise. And this is maybe stuff you already intuitively know as parents. You're probably observing it and have been since you've been with your young people. So bear with me, but we're going to apply some language here that I hope will help connect these aspects of learning and development to your current situations, and then also as you think about the upcoming school year. So we now know from research that the brain develops over a long period of time, from birth through about age 25. And there are really intense periods of growth in the ages of 0 to 5, and then in adolescence about 13 to 18. And the brain develops, on 3 dimensions: social, emotional, and cognitive. And they're happening at different levels of intensity over that period of time. The social brain develops when young people are interacting with other people, adults and peers. And the quality of those interactions can shape an individual's ability to learn. The emotional brain helps us connect with what we're learning. And those feelings, particularly feelings of safety and belonging and respect, can also influence an individual's ability to learn. And then finally, the cognitive brain helps to think through, connect, and reason and problem solve based on all of those things in our environment, and particularly with academic content. So this is just a list of some of the types of skills that are under each of these banners for social, emotional, and cognitive. And I think what's really exciting is that you all are in a school district, San Francisco Unified, that's already made a commitment to this type of content, and that's happening in schools. Now, maybe your students, your young people are telling you how their teachers have helped foster these skills. Or maybe they're bringing home reports that say something about their progress. But to be frank, we've worked with other communities and other organizations who have done research with parents and asked parents, what do you want for your young people? And parents say, first and foremost, they want their young people to be empathetic, caring people. They want them to be able to solve problems and demonstrate respect. Those are the first things that parents say, not necessarily that they want great test scores for their kids. And so that is also, I think, really should be really empowering for parents and families to say that the interconnected components of these aspects of learning are paramount. And again, the good thing is San Francisco Unified is a district that's already committed to this. So I was so glad to hear that Zaretta Hammond already kind of touched on this content. So I'm going to touch on it again because it can't be overstated enough. Learning can happen anywhere. Learning is not reserved for the halls of a school. And that's what's exciting about San Francisco Unified. And it's exciting to me about working with Parents for Public Schools of San Francisco, because you all as parents and families have a really critical role now in a way we didn't anticipate at the start of the school year. So growth and development, as I just described, happens when the brain interacts with its environment and the people in those environments. And the social and emotional brain is activated by those environments and by the relationships that young people form, not only with peers, but with adults as well. And because learning happens in relationships, all of the places where young people are have to reflect or include the type of relationships that will positively support the emotional and social parts of the brain. And, you know, I think it's really important to say that it's not going to look the same everywhere, and it's not going to feel the same in all of these settings, but the core principles are the same: the focus on relationships and the importance of developing the social and emotional brains. And so as I close out here, I am sharing a picture of me with my 2-year-old, and want to take everyone back to that period in your young person's life when you were reading to them and helping them to understand the appreciation of words, whether in English, Spanish, or Cantonese or Mandarin. What I want you to consider now is that when you learned the alphabet, or your little person learned the alphabet, they didn't just learn it because they thought they had to memorize it. They learned it because a person they cared about, that they had an emotional attachment to, was singing the alphabet multiple times a day on repeat. And it was that emotional connection to the person saying the alphabet that caused them to pay attention and say, okay, I think this is something I should learn. And then they memorize it because they want to make that person happy. And then over time, the act of reading with our kids, the warmth of a parent's body or a family member's body, and that act of togetherness activates the social brain, and therefore a positive connection and relationship with reading. And that's what turns the alphabet into words and then into stories, which over time contribute to the cognitive development of being able to read and comprehend. And that's why we've always known that social, emotional, and cognitive development happens together with academic learning. But now we're in a really important time where our ability to understand this and have this knowledge can really empower us to have the best positive relationships with our young people, and then also demand that of all the people that our young people are interacting with. So I know your colleagues at San Francisco Unified are going to share out a little bit more about what the district is up to. So I just want to leave this takeaway slide, really commend this group for coming together and say all environments where young people are learning and growing should reflect what we know about how learning happens. And young people need the opportunity to forge strong, trusting relationships, no matter where they are. They need to feel safe, respected, and a sense of belonging. And they need to be challenged in ways that allow them to pick what's interesting to them so they can pursue their interests. And there's also an explicit teaching component to this. No one just naturally knows what it is to be empathetic. It has to be modeled, and it can be explicitly taught. So I just want to encourage us all to think about what it takes to intentionally teach social, emotional, and cognitive skills, and then give young people the opportunity to practice those skills and build those skills. So I'm going to close with that, and I thank you again for your time. I'm going to pass, I believe, to Corey Falk. Thank you for that wonderful mindfulness moment, and to Nancy and Pollock, I think, right?
Thank you, Monica.
Okay. I'm going to stop sharing.
Thank you. Nancy's going to share her screen now, and while we're waiting for those slides to come up, again, my name is Corey Falk, and I'm from San Francisco Unified. And I'm happy to be here today to talk about social emotional learning. And I'm so nerdy about like word etymology. I actually looked up each word and found out like social means like allies and friends, and, you know, rooted in relationships, and emotion means like really expressing and being excited. And learning comes from the same root as lore, which is storytelling and passing on knowledge orally or through written and formats. And so all of this comes together in what Monica just talked about when we're, you know, learning to draw our letters because they're squiggles, and with our ears, we're hearing the sounds with our loved ones and our teachers. And it's amazing to include all of the senses and the relationships in our efforts in SFUSD in the environments, whether it be in the schools or and through distance learning. What does that mean now? And I was reflecting on the graduate profile, and actually it looks really like the graduate profile does apply to our distance learning environments, because we're committed to preparing students for thriving in the 21st century, which includes a lot of remote work or teamwork or collaborative work, and work globally and locally with our communities. And our approach is distinctly grounded in the whole school, whole child, whole community model, which recognizes the holistic needs and assets of all of our students and families and schools when they come together. So that's just a little overview. And then the next slide will show you, thanks Nancy, the skills, mindsets, and content knowledge that SFUSD graduates and students gain throughout their experience in our community.
It always has to be something. But
it's called trial by fire, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So what did you do? Just cut and paste all of those addresses in?
No, I just did them individually. I tried to match names. I sorted it. So when they pop up the list of people to assign to rooms, it comes up alphabetically. So I just alphabetized the list that you sent me and just went through. There weren't a lot in middle and high. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
yeah, that's what I thought. They'd be the ones most likely to drop off.
Yeah. So I see that we're kind of behind on time. I'm not sure what to do about that.
Well, Teresa said that she'd be happy to wrap up fast, but
yeah. Okay. Yeah. What do we have after this? Oh, well, hopefully people will be understanding and maybe they're okay hanging out a little bit longer. Oops, I'm seeing a message. Oops. Oh yeah, I can wrap up fast. Okay, stay in breakouts until 5:17. That's very specific.
But you know, I mean, I think everybody knows that they can't talk for so long at the front, and most people have had a good overview.
Yeah. So you guys, do you have? I'm trying to think what I'm saying. Do you have any breakout room controls? Like, can you let yourself join a breakout room? Do you want me to put you in one? Do you want to see what's going on?
I'm fine not, but you can as the
and that's what I was thinking about doing that, but I realized then if any of these people who are here end up
coming back.
But I guess you could just message me if somebody comes back, maybe. Can you guys monitor the chat? And I'm just going to spend like 1 minute going to pop in and see what's going on.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Also you can message the groups, the breakout rooms, to let them know how much time they've got.
Oh, okay, great.
So that's that's definitely for the facilitators. I think they need to know that.
guess we didn't make it super clear that this goes till 5:15. People might think it's 5:30, right?
Yeah.
The Zoom meeting itself was scheduled till 5:30. So
yeah, I mean, I didn't know it finished at 5:15.
I don't know either.
All right, I'm just not going to mention it.
No, I don't think you should. I think, as I said, the Zoom meeting is booked for an hour and a half.
Okay, perfect. Mike, oh, there's someone coming back. Hi. Hi there. Would you like me to put you in a breakout room? Oh, sorry.
You're muted.
Oh, I just unmuted you. Are you would rather not? Oh. Oh, hi. Sorry, I'm trying to.
It's a face on the other side.
Mm-hmm. So cute. I think the turnout was good. It's about what I feel like it would be harder to manage more. Okay, I'm going to pop into the breakout rooms for a minute.
Hi there. If you do want to join a breakout room, we can add you to the list in a minute. You're on mute at the moment. I can't hear if you reply. Okay. I think that would be a K-5 room if we could put that person into one. They've got a different name to me after all, so.
That's pretty smart. Okay, for number 2, 3, and 4.
Got no choice. If they ever come back, you never know. You could always just put them into breakout rooms, but I don't think they're there, to be honest. I think they've gone away.
And they have to join it by themselves as well. So.
That's right. They have to accept it, don't they? That's right. Oh, well.
How's the breakout room situation?
It looks good. The high school is really small. I didn't pop into the middle school yet, but the elementary school seems to be having like discussion and